Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the State of Mars podcast, sponsored as always by our good friends at D1 Media Pro, the number one live stream in the state of New Jersey for high school sports. The winter season got into full swing this week as the ice hockey and basketball teams started their regular season. So, we're going to recap those games as well as talk about swimming's impressive start to their campaign and talk about how the rest of the Marauder program fared this week. Last but not least, we're also going to reveal who won this week's edition of the Marauder Player of the Week award and reveal four new candidates for next week's award. We can always be found on any listening devices on Apple, on Spotify, on Anchor, you name it, we're there. So be sure to search State of the Marauders or follow us on our social media profile at SOT Marauders to see all of our exclusive content. As always, I am your host, Renato Rodriguez of the class of 2010, writing solo again for another week, but we have a lot to dissect. So let's start off with the news of the week. And in the news of the week, make sure again you download the app today via the link on the SOT Marauder social media accounts. Again, you can get your live stream information, your schedule updates, texting service form. Again, that's open all year long as well. Player of the week voting, and much, much more. So make sure you download the app today. Also, make sure you like and subscribe our YouTube channel at SOTM Network to get highlights, the podcast in video form, and other special updates as well. So make sure you follow us on YouTube at SOTM Network. And again, as we keep mentioning, basketball updates will continue to be exclusively to the Game Changer app. So all the stats that I do during those games are going to be right on Game Changer. So make sure you download the app today to get the latest play-by-play information and live stats during each game. Jersey Sports Zone revealed the all non-public zone teams on both the offense and defensive side of the balls. Prep had 6 guys on both sides of the ball to make the list, and we know Champ Long made the list because he was one of the Zoman finalists, so great job again, Champ. On offense as well, we have wide receivers Zion Fowler and Kenya Massey, who both had tremendous years as well. And also making the list, great guy on the offensive line, Temple commit Eric King. Also making the list. So forget 4 guys on offense. We had 2 guys on defense making it. Ohio State bound Jaden Bonsu and Princeton bound London Robinson, who got the Heart of the Giant Award last week as well. So again, congratulations to all those guys for being on the all non-public zone team. Also, NJ.com revealed their own list of all non-public teams, and Champ, Zion, and Eric each got all non-public first team. And not only that, but London Robinson and Jaden Bonsu each got second team. Kenya Massey got third team. A little bit of a snub, in my opinion. I think Kenya Massey was a hell receiver this year, so I'm a little surprised that he got into third team only. He almost broke a school record in receiving, but what do I know, ladies and gentlemen? I'm not the one who's picking these all non-public teams because my votes would be a little bit different. But again, I'm a little more biased for Marauder action, but it's okay. It's all good. So now that we got the nitty-bitty news out of the way, let's talk about what happened this week within the program. I want to start off with the ice hockey team, and boy, what is there to say about this ice hockey team? I know it's early. I know it's the first 3 games. There is plenty to dissect of these 3 games. They played 3 top 20 teams in state in Don Bosco, Gloucester Catholic, and St. Augustine. And they lost all 3. But these games, ladies and gentlemen, they were not even close. Talking about the opener at Bosco. They were down 5-0, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, 5-0 at the end of the first period of play. I mean, 5-0 at the one. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Santa Petrocelli made so many saves in that contest. I mean, he only played the first period, folks, and he made a whopping 25 saves out of 30 shots on goal at first period. Mike Kilomanowicz came in relief. He did a great job, though. 27 saves out of 29 shots. And, after that first period, the Marauder offense started to pick up a little bit. You had Tommy Appalachian in the third period scoring. Enzo Campano scoring in the second as well. Matt January and Ryan Byington with assists on the first goal. But again, ladies and gentlemen, not a good way to start, especially that you only get 15 shots on net against Bosco. That's total domination from one side of the rink to the other. But now we switch to the home opener against Gloucester Catholic. And early on, especially in that first period, they played decently. It was a 1-0 deficit, but they were holding Gloucester pretty well. But then that second period was when they would cash in with 2 goals allowed. And again, Michael Romano's got to start in this one, and he again, the goalies, they did their thing for the most part, But the Marauder offense just couldn't score. They couldn't cash in. They faced against a great goaltender, in my opinion. I really like Billy Stutsky. I see why he's a top prospect. He's tall, stands tall in the net. Marauder's not able to get too many good looks. They had a couple breakaway opportunities that they couldn't convert as well. Got to convert on those breakaways when you get a chance, especially against a team like Gloucester is also top 10 state. But again, shots 34-19. Michael Lemano had 30 saves on the day, but nothing else doing. And 0 for 2 on the power play. And then we go to the final game of the week against Gloucester. Not against Gloucester, against St. Augustine. Again, more of the same for this Marauder team. Another shutout, 5-0. Good job by the defense, only allowing 28 shots on net. So that's good. Santa Petrocelli, 33 saves in the contest. So maybe that was, I think it was a little typo there. It's 38 shots to 12. So this is a little concerning, little bit of a concern of the year. But again, this Marauder team has a chance to turn around this week. They're going out of conference a bit. They're facing off in St. Joe's Metuchen, St. John Vianney. They could try to get some victories there, try to get some momentum going as we go into the middle part of the season soon. So let's see how the ice hockey team does this week heading into the winter break. The basketball team, they were an up and down team as well this week. They won a hard-fought contest against Elizabeth. I was at the barn with State of the Mars Club president Ben Novisak. He took some video of the game. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to play some highlights for you guys of what happened against Elizabeth in the home opener. So, Ben, let's take it away, shall we? So again, barn packed, ready to go. Matt Kinsler looking to win the tip. He does so. Season gets underway in fantastic fashion. Matt Kinsler starts the 11-on-1 with a nice little tip in. And then Matt Kinsler, Tim Jackson, Tandle for 3. He buries it. Thirst of 3 threes coming here for the Marauders next. Nico Pena, his first point. He hits the triple, making 9-3 Marauders. And then great pass from Armour to Payne Miller. Bang! 3 of Payne Miller's 12 points. He was perhaps the leading scorer of the contest. Matt Kinsler, the little spin move, gets the bounce off the rolling in. 19-15 here in the second quarter for the Marauders. And watch this play here from Richie Rosa. Look at the guard getting the hops and the rejection here in the third quarter. Marauders suffocating defense again. Another block by Matt Kinsler. Here come the Marauders. Going to go coast to coast. Mason Santiago gets it to Rosa. Great passing sequence here. Mason dribbles, hops to Richie for free. Bang! Richie Rosa from downtown. Giving the Marauders some early leads. They will struggle again, but look at this play. Off the steal, Jordan Armour looks, Kinsler to Rosa, back inside at 10. The great passing sequence there. Marauders regain the lead 29-28 here in the third quarter. And then watch this buzzer beater here by Jordan Armour. 3 attempts later, he gets the roll in. Marauders get a 5-point lead entering the fourth quarter of play. And that fourth quarter, the Matt Kinsler show, he took over. Spin move down the lane. Lefty layup is good. He would get 10 points overall as he seals the deal on this final three throw. Elizabeth would try to get the quick three, tries to get a little something here. They did it at the buzzer. 41-38, the final. Prep goes to 1-0 on the year. So, great job again. That was a tough contest for the Marauders, you know. Elizabeth, they might not have the scoring like they did last year, but boy, their defense was top-notch in this game, ladies and gentlemen. Whew. That was great effort by this Marauder team. Again, young team, right? You got Matt and Jackson, the seniors. Jordan Armour also, but this team, the core of the team is going to be young, right? So these first couple games, they're going to get a sense for how this Marauder team will be. So let's talk about now the game against number 6, Don Bosco. On Saturday night from the Dunn Center. And it was a 52-47 loss. I mean, in this game, the Marauders had an early lead in the first half. They played well defensively. But then Dylan Harper, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not seen Dylan Harper play for Don Bosco, guy's a stud. He's amazing. He got 25 points in the contest, which is driving down the Marauder throats all game long. And give credit to the Marauders. They were down early in the fourth quarter. They were down, I believe, 5 or 6 a couple minutes to go, and they fought. They were finishing a 3-pointer from tying the game. Mace Santiago's 3 with like 10 seconds left to go was offline. So Dylan Harper would have had 2 free throws to end the game. But again, this is a team that lost one of the best scorers in prep history, Mark Armstrong. Right? He graduated. They got Richie, Mason, Nico Pena. You know, they got Jackson and Matt still leading the team. And this team has a lot of depth to it. I really like the way Coach Melville has set up his depth, you know, especially with the guard plays. A lot of great guards. Payne Miller, we talked about. Jordan Armour, we talked about. Richie Rosa, we have not seen much of Richie yet, but I think as the games get going, we're going to see more and more out of Richie Rosa. You also got guys like Sam Tornabene. Jordan Taylor hitting a 3 as well. That was nuts against Don Bosco. But I like the way this team is. And Ben Guy, too. We can't forget about Ben Guy. Nice little depth piece. So those 2 games was a good measuring stick for this Marauder team. You know, they could have gotten 0-2. They easily could have gotten 2-0 as well. So, you know, they get a nice little break. They take on Memorial on Wednesday. They're back home against Union City on Friday. And I think it's a good week for them just to adjust to things, right? Had 2 tough games, get a reset button. And then see how you take on Memorial, see how you take on Union City next week. And it should be some good contests. So, also for the ice hockey team, before I forget, they got two games this week. They're gonna take on St. Joe's Metuchen and St. John Vianney, as I mentioned, right? So both those teams, they have potential to right the ship this week and get back into the win columns for sure. So let's now talk about how swimming did in their matchup against Bayonne. And boy, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I don't know what else to say about this number 8th ranked team in state. They would win 136.5 to 42.5. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, you can actually get half a point. That is legal. That occurs, when the teams are tying a race. You get a top three finish, like what happened in the 200 freestyle relay, where the team of Andrew Kelly, Rally Struck, Oliver Jacobitz, and Daniel Menetosis got the exact same time as Bayone's team of 148.50. So as a result, they each split the points. So again, swimming off to a great start. Let's talk about the results that happened within this meet. In the 200 medley relay, Nick Valenti, Evan Murkarth, Evan Briggs, and Alpayada got first place at a time of 153.71, with Ben Lucas, Michael Florentino, Cyrus Chang, and Adam Elshanari getting second place as well. In the 200 freestyle relay, the Marauders, again, would finish now only 1-2 this time, but 1, 2, and 3. Isaac Rivers would win the race at 153.59. Luke Kelly would end up second at 205.23, and Daniel Menetosis would end up in third place as well. In the 200 individual medley, Evan Briggs would win the race at 209. Joaquin Dalaran would end up second, and Ethan Ortiz would end up in third. Again, another 1-2-3 finish for the Mars. In the 353 style, Bayonne would win the race, but Nick Valenti ends up in second, and Alpayata ends up in fourth. In the 100 butterfly, Michael Florentino would end up in first with a time of 58.9. Daniel Marantosis would end up in second, and Cyrus Chang would end up in third. In the 100 freestyle, again, Isaac Rivers gets his second victory with a first place finish at 51.17, and Ethan Ortiz ends up in second. In the 500 freestyle race, Adam Elshanari would win at 5:59.01, and Evan Murkoff would end up in second. In the 200 freestyle relay, both teams were remarkable for prep. Andrew Kelly, Michael Florentino, and Cyrus Chang would win it at 139.84. And then Ravi Struck, Oliver Jacobitz, and Daniel Manatosis would end up in second place as well. In the 100 backstroke, Nick Valenti would win it at 111.48. Joaquin Dalaran would end up in second, and Ben Lucas would be in third. In the 100 breaststroke, Evan Briggs would win it at 106.40. Alp Ayala would be in second, and Ethan Ortiz in third. In the 400 freestyle relay to end the meet, Luke Kelly, Evan Murkoff, Nick Valenti, and Evan Briggs would win the race at 3:45.53. And right behind them, the team of Adam Elshanari, Daniel Manatosa, Joaquin Delaran, and Isaac Withers. And that only ended up being 9 seconds apart. 9 milliseconds apart. So prep versus prep battle, that was intense at the end for sure. So they are now 2-0, and they would take on St. Joe's Metuchen today, 6:30 p.m. on the road. And that's going to be the only match of the week. And it's going to be a good matchup for them because St. Joe's is ranked number 16th in the state right now. So good luck to the guys out there and hope they could keep their perfect record alive. So now, let's talk about the bowling team. They split the week. They're now 2-2. They defeated Lincoln 7-0. And again, the guys who did a great job in that one includes the team leader Rocco Barone with a score of 508 and Ryan Kin with a score of 403 and Jan Cases with a score of 484. Then they would go on to place Kearney. They would lose 5-2, in which Andrew Diaz, again, our Kenneth from our play league, would end up with a score of 524. John Cases would lead the way with a score of 562. And Ryan Ken will end up with a score of 504. So, again, 2-2 are the Marauders now. They have 2 games this week as they take on Beloved Charter today, and then McNair on Wednesday night right before the break. The wrestling team competed in the Beast of Yeast tournament. And as the title states, Beast of the East tournament, it is a tournament based on the East Coast team. So, we had a lot of states being represented. Some of the best wrestlers in the country also competed in this event as well. And keep in mind, this is an individual based tournament, so there's not really team scores per se, but the whole team went down to compete. So let's take a look at some early results as the tournament is still going on as we're recording this on Sunday afternoon. So in round one, Connor Reynolds would win at 285 by decision, 4-0 over Evan Lambert of Silicon Valley. Carmen Morano would win at 175 by major decision, 10-0 over Owen Dixon of Cesar Rodney. Jake Tallarico would win at 113 by pinfall at 148 over Galvin Calcinas of Somerset. Anthony Verdi, yes, the son of head coach Anthony Verdi, would win at 157 by technical fall, 21-5 over Roman Tamburino of Williamstown. Anthony Harris would win at 190 by pinfall at 51 seconds over Ron Clouds of St. Augustine. Gina Shishina would win at 120 by decision 5-1 over Jack Parker of St. Christopher's. In round two, Anthony Harris would win by major decision 15-2 over Jacob Wright of Rutherbrand. Salvatore Borrometti would win at 106 by pinfall at 5-10 over Don Giacomo of Camden Catholic. Connor Reynolds would fall against number one seeded Aiden Cotton of Notre Dame in 54 seconds. Dominic Latini would fall against Bennett Sariero of Huntington Central in 155. Caden Riccardi would win at 132 by pinfall at 156 over Joey Tantawai of Hanover Park. Connor Reynolds would win in the consolation round to round two by pinfall at 148 over Jacob Coles of Nazareth. Anthony Verdi would win in the consolation round by decision 3-0 over Alan Gushu of Gilman School. And Carmen Morano would win by major decision 9-1 over Ada Murray of Council Ralph South. Donovan Chavis would fall at 138 by decision 2-1 over Joe Brown of Landon School. And Gina Shaina would win by pinfall at 116 over Wyatt Miller of Smyrna. Max Nevlin in round three. He was the number 6 seed coming into the tournament. He won at 165 by decision of 3-1 over the 11th seeded Tyler Haley of Frank W. Cox. Anthony Harris would beat the number 4 seed James Miller of Salesianum by decision 3-1. Jonathan Fuller, the 4th seed, won at 144 by decision 3-2 over Bo Lewis of Great Bridge. Caden Riccardi would win by decision 11-4 over Hyan Myers. Joseph Ruiz will fall at 150 by major decision 11-1 over the Mackay Neal of St. Mary Rankin. And yes, I know we got a lot of results. So we're getting right through these folks. Jake Tallarico would win by pinfall at 144 over Zane Dobb of Northampton. Gino Shishina would win by decision 4-2 over Luke Sherlock of Shawnee. Dominic Latini would win by pinfall 137 over Adai Morgan of St. George. Anthony Verdi would fall by decision 3-1 over Alex Kanowski of Belmont Hill. And Connor Reynolds would win by pinfall at 318 over Jaden Cuevas of Great Bridge. In round four, Connor Reynolds will fall by major decision 10-2 over Kale Denigris of Delaware Military Academy. Joseph Ruiz would win by decision 4-2 over Cade Campbell of Nazareth. Dominic Latini will fall via pinfall at 242 over Robert Ankins of Don Bosco Prep. Gino Shishina would fall by decision 4-3 over Santino Denise of Hanover Park. Jake Tallarico would win by sudden victory 2-0 over Kurt Werner of Donovan Catholic. In round 5, Joseph Ruiz would fall by decision 5-3 over Carl Betts of Del Barton. Jake Tallarico would fall by decision 3-2 over Mason Jacob of Dobbins Bennett. And Salvatore Bortometti will win by pinfall at 5 minutes over Nicholas Sanders of Mountain View. In the quarterfinal action, Jonathan Fuller will fall by pinfall at 118 over Patrick Jordan of Newcastle. Max Nevlin will fall by some victory 42 over Josiah Queen of St. John Vianney. And Caden McCarty, ladies and gentlemen, the only guy to advance to the semis as he won by decision 5-4 over Bryson Argabas of Bennington College Prep. So stay tuned. Next week's episode, we're going to see how Caden did in the semifinal matchup. And the Wrestling Martyrs will be back in action on Friday. They're going to head up to Faith Christian Academy in Pennsylvania for a quad match between themselves, Faith Christian Academy, highly ranked CBA, one of the top teams in the state, and Wyoming. So that's going to be an epic quad match on Friday for your Wrestling Martyrs. Last but not least, the track guys. Yes, the track guys. They competed at the Leon Bailey Relays this week, which is at the Jersey City Armory. And in the 4x800 relay, the team of Aiden Prucher, Colin Rutledge, Danny Kramer, Marcelo Garcia, and Luke Schreiber got second place at a time of 9:13:40. In the 4x800 relay, in the novice category, Liam Rocks, Luke Schreiber, Alex Giantino, and Daniel Nemeth got second at a time of 9:45:02. And the 4x55 shuttle hurdle relay, Chad Trammell, Corey Greenfield, Eddie DeBella, Noah Rollingham, and Anson Hart got second place at a time of 32:34. In the distance medley relay, Terran Moran, Jason Peterson, Theodore McCarthy, and Tommy O'Brien won the race at a time of 11:26:04. In the distance medley novice races, we had two prep teams who got 1-2 respectively. The team of Island Rocks, Jack Halligan, Luigi Lanzalotti, and Richard Harrington would win at a time of 12:08:14. And in second place, the team of Aiden Dunn, Liam O'Neill, Eli Farmer, and Cheyenne Hurley got in second at a time of 12:50:47. In shot put, Brandon Montemayor got fourth place with a score of 41:10, with Mason Simmons ending up in 10th place as well. In the shot put novice category, Cooper LaFon got first place, with Matt Zapata getting in sixth as well. So, they will next compete in the Holly Tournament over Christmas break on the 27th and 28th at the Ocean Breeze Holly Festival in Staten Island. So, again, good luck to all of our Marauders competing this weekend. Again, make sure you download the app, ladies and gentlemen, for all of your schedule updates for your Marauders. So now, let's talk about my favorite topic of the podcast, which is the Marauder Player of the Week award. So, last week, we had 4 nominees, including Andrew Diaz of bowling, Oliver Harag of hockey, Frankie Prekop of swimming, and Dave Sowinski also of swimming. So, you guys all voted, and we got a winner. So, let's get the drum roll, please. And the winner, ladies and gentlemen, with 45% of votes. So this was close. Close race. It was close. So the winner of this week's Marauder Player of the Week goes to, from the ice hockey team, Oliver Harag. Congratulations to Oliver for the accomplishment. And again, we have another 4 nominees coming up this week. Who are those 4 nominees? I mean, we got a lot of great candidates, a lot of great action happened in Marauderland, but there's only 4 potential nominees. Let's start with number 1 with the 12-point performance in the home opener. Number 3, Peyton. Sorry. Excuse me. Number 3, Peyton Miller. From wrestling, who got all the way, as of this recording, to the semifinals of the Beast of the East tournament, Caden Riccardi. This guy did a tremendous job in the relays for the varsity guys all week long. He is the captain, Theodore McCarthy. And last but not least, this guy also, Captain Swimming, did a great job in the meet against Bayonne, Evan Briggs. So those are your 4 candidates. And remember to vote on the app. And remember that voting, ladies and gentlemen, will end Christmas Eve this week. Yes, Christmas Eve, 11:59. So right before we get into Christmas, make sure you vote for who you think deserves to be this week's Marauder of the Week. And remember, only 1 vote, right? 1 vote only. You can't do multiple votes. We gotta go fair. So 1 vote only. And again, make sure you spread the word and vote for who you think should be the Marauder of the Week. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all again for tuning into this week's episode of the State of Marauders podcast. Be sure to spread the word by sharing our social media profile at SOT Marauders to everyone you know, and continue to check them out for all of the latest updates. I know the holiday break is coming next week. It's a great time to be with your friends and family. But make sure you stop by Maryland, because we're still going to Maryland. We got a lot of action before and after Christmas. So we'll be here. We'll be here coming out Marauders. So come back next week, right after Christmas. We'll recap everything that happened in another week of Marauder action. Thank you again for tuning in. And as always, let's go prep.